Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the News on Map series. In the last few episodes, if you're following, you must have an idea about how we cover the places that have been in the news with the help of MCQs and maps. So this is another episode. Let's solve the practice question that I gave you in the last segment. Look at the rivers of South India, have an atlas or a digital map. On the map of India, suppose that if a person has to go up to the Bay of Bengal with the help of a river, and then which river the person has to prefer above the other so that he can have a more direct route towards the Bay of Bengal. For that, we have to first look at the map, and this map is showing you various rivers of southern India. In the options, we have Pennar, Krishna, Godavari and Kaveri. So let's see. Now the first river that we have to choose is, of course, let's choose Godavari. So Godavari flows through the Maharashtra, entering Telangana, and then you see how direct it has been in the route, right? So now this is a much direct route if we choose Godavari. Next, we of course have Krishna, Kaveri and Pennar. So next will be, let's look at where is Pennar. Here is Pennar, not a very direct route, right? So many twists and turns, and then reaching the Bay of Bengal. After that, we have Kaveri. Kaveri also has a lot of twists and turns, and also after a point of time, it at the delta has many tributaries. So that is also not a very good option. If we talk about Krishna, Krishna also has a lot of twist and turn, and then we will reach the Bay of Bengal. So if you can make out with the help of the red lines, you see Godavari is the most direct route. So the correct answer should be option C, that is Godavari, right? Let's move on and talk about our next question. So before the question, let's know the news. Israel and Turkey, they have been in a discussion for improving bilateral diplomatic relations that have deteriorated for nearly a decade now, and Israeli Prime Minister has been on a visit to Turkey recently. So let's see the question. Which one of the following is not directly related to Turkey? So Turkey has many seas and water bodies surrounding it. Sea of Marmara, Sea of, if you talk about Black Sea, if you talk about the various branches of Mediterranean Sea. So that is why this question will be a little tricky if you're not very well versed with the map. As you see, here is Turkey and here is the Black Sea. So Black Sea is directly in contact with Turkey. Here is the Sea of Marmara, the Bosphorus Strait and the Dardanelles. These are the straits of Turkey. And under the Montreal Convention of 1936, Turkey closed it for any passage of warship from Russia to the Mediterranean Sea. So this is Dardanelles. Dardanelles joins Sea of Marmara and the Aegean Sea, and Bosphorus Strait joins the Black Sea and the Sea of Marmara. Remember that. Okay, so we have Sea of Marmara, then Black Sea in close connection with Turkey, and of course the entire Mediterranean Sea is this big. So it has many branches in the name of Aegean Sea, Thracian Sea, Levantian Sea. Okay, so Mediterranean Sea, Sea of Marmara and Black Sea. Then indirectly it is related to Sea of Azov, right? So in the three options that we have, Azov Sea is the best answer, best describable answer. Let's move on to the next question. So next question will be asked because some cities in Iraq, they are witnessing violent protests. And these days, because of price rise, inflation, also the Iranian government is in talks with the Taliban to complete its ambitious rail project. The project is actually a part of the 5-nation railway corridor. It includes China, Kyrgyzstan, Afghanistan and Iran. Okay, so the next question will ask you to match the popular location with the country they are situated in. First, we have Nasiriyah, that's in Iraq, Khaf in Iran and Herat in Pakistan. So Nasiriyah is in Iraq, that is for sure. It lies southeast of Baghdad, the capital, on the Euphrates River. If we talk about the next one, Kaf, yes, it is in Iran. Kaf is in Iran. And Herat is not in Pakistan. It is the third largest city of Afghanistan. So only the first and the second are correct. Here Herat is matched with Pakistan, which is not correct. So 1 and 2 is the correct answer. And we have it as option D. Alright. See, this is how we are going to cover it. Then, which of the following countries, Central Asian countries, do not have a border with Kazakhstan? So for that, we have to see the map of Kazakhstan. Here is Kazakhstan. It shares its borders with Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and also here, as you see, Turkmenistan, it might get confused with Azerbaijan, but look at the map very correctly. Uzbekistan is there, Kyrgyzstan is there, Tajikistan is not there, right? Afghanistan is not there, Pakistan is not there. So we have so many countries which have a border with, of course, Kazakhstan. So Turkmenistan is not one of them. The correct answer will be, Tajikistan. Turkmenistan has a border, Kyrgyzstan has a border, and Uzbekistan has a border. So Tajikistan does not have a border with Kazakhstan. Alright, let's move forward and talk about the next question. So our next question will be asked because several soldiers have been killed in a violent attack in Mali and about 20 people have been killed in mine crash in Guinea. Certain countries which are very much in the news because of any violence, because of any rebellion, it will mostly be the African region or the Arabian Peninsula. Be very well versed with these. So, popular location we have to match with the country. Mondoro in Mali, Conakry in Guinea, and Kano in Niger. So, we have to select the correct ones. Okay, yes, Mondoro region is in Mali. Mondoro is in Mali in the Mopti region. Remember that as well. Mopti. M-O-P-T-I. Mopti. Okay. Then in Guinea, Conakry, we have in Guinea. That is also correct. Okay. Then, of course, if we talk about Kano. Kano is in northern Nigeria. Here it is written Niger, which is not correct. Okay. So, see, Nigeria, and then we have Mali, and then we have Guinea. Okay, let's move on and see the correct answer here. The correct answer would be 1 and 2, not 3. So 1 and 2 would be option A. Okay, let's move forward talking about our next question. Now, amidst the Russian-Ukrainian war, Russian army captured the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, reminds us about the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Okay. So that is why this question will be asked. We have to match the nuclear power plants which are very famous with the countries they are found in. Chernobyl in Russia, 𝐃𝐫𝐲𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 in Japan, and Fukushima Daiichi in China. So what do we have to see? We have to see the pairs which are correctly matched. If we talk about, of course, Ukraine, here it is. Okay. And Ukraine is basically having the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in the abandoned city of Pripyat. So it's not in Russia. It is also known as Vladimir Lenin nuclear power plant. It went through a disaster on 26th April 1986, the world's worst nuclear power disaster. So first statement is not correctly matched. Fukushima Daiichi is in Japan, and that also went through a nuclear disaster of 2011 because of Tohoku earthquake. So first we have to understand that the third pair is not correctly matched, and Chernobyl is in Pripyat, that is in Ukraine, so not in Russia. Only the second pair is correctly matched. The correct answer would be option B, that is only second. Let's move on and talk about our next question. Nord Stream 2 pipeline is in much discussion amidst Russian-Ukrainian dispute. And the question from it can be formed such as, consider the following statements. Russia is at the forefront of the oil and gas pipeline network in terms of distance. The Nord Stream 2 pipeline is linked to East Asia, and the Trans-Mediterranean gas pipeline connects all countries adjacent to the Mediterranean Sea. For this, we need a map, right? For understanding, we should see which one of the statements are correct. Now, the correct answer would be that in terms of who is the forerunner? And we have to understand this is the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, the green one. Dotted one, which is now according to the US, is dead because of the sanctions. It will join Germany's Greifswald to Russia's Ust-Luga. Okay? And we have to understand that in terms of distance, Germany is a lot dependent on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. More than Russia. Russia also has to export. So it is joining the Western Europe, right? The Western Europe region will be joined by this Nord Stream 2 pipeline. First and the second are not correct. First statement is not correct, nor is the second. We had the third statement as the Trans-Mediterranean gas pipeline connects all the countries adjacent to the Mediterranean Sea. Let's see. So you see, this is Mediterranean Sea and this is the, of course, Trans-Mediterranean pipeline. It doesn't join because it won't join Spain, right? It won't join Morocco. So not all countries are connected with the help of this Trans-Mediterranean gas pipeline. Third statement is not correct. So the correct answer would be option D, none of the above. Let's move on and talk about our next question. A large number of people had to be displaced after a volcanic eruption in Guatemala. So we have to match the famous volcanoes with the locations they are found at. Okay. So let's see Fuego in Siberia. Let's see if Fuego is in Siberia. Also, we have to select the correctly matched pairs. Fuego is actually here, Volcano de Fuego in Guatemala. Okay, and not Siberia. So first pair is of course not correctly matched. Chimborazo is correctly matched with Andes because here we have in Ecuador Chimborazo. Okay, in the Andes. Then first was not correct, second is correct. Mount Kulal. Let's see where Mount Kulal is. It is showing in East Africa. Mount Kulal is in Kenya in East Africa. So this is also correct. Second and third are correct. First is not. Option D will be the correct answer. Let's move on and talk about our next set of questions. Now, a report has revealed that China has a direct role in the ongoing India Out campaign in the Maldives. An agreement was also signed between India and Maldives in 2021, under which India was to build a harbour of the Maldives National Defence Force Coast Guard near the Sirfwaru, Uthuru and Thilaflu. So let's see what is the question. Under the Greater Malay Connectivity Project between India and Maldives last year, India will spend to interlink which of the islands of Maldives? So this is a map which we are going to show you. The Greater Malay Connectivity Project is the biggest project that India is participating in with Maldives infrastructure project. Not only it is the India and collaboration of India's and Maldives biggest project, but also the biggest project of Maldives overall. So it will be an infrastructure, a bridge which will connect, which will run through 6.74 kilometers. Okay, and it will connect almost every village that we have mentioned in our question. Thilafushi, Willingli, Guli Falhu and Hulhule. So the correct answer would be option D. As you see, this is Guli Falhu, Thilafushi. These are the different island villages. Hulhule and Willingli. Okay. So D is the correct answer. Let's move on. Now, thousands of tribal people of Gujarat are opposing the central government's Par-Tapi Narmada River Link project. Now, with reference to River Narmada, we have to consider the following statements. It is the only river in Madhya Pradesh that falls in the Arabian Sea. First, it passes through the Mandwa hills of Gujarat before falling into the Gulf of Khambat in the river. And the rivers Hiran, Choral and Barna river, they meet it from the north. So let's see which of the following are correct. So before I move on with the map, first of all, we have to understand that not only Narmada, but Tapi is another river of Madhya Pradesh that falls into the Arabian Sea. It's a westward flowing river. So first statement is not correctly matched. The river Narmada, which moves from the Maikal range in eastern Madhya Pradesh, falls into the Arabian Sea by flowing through the between Vindhyas and Satpuras. Really? I hope you remember that. If you are preparing for the prelims, you have to be very well versed with the important rivers. So it flows through a trough, but it does not flow through Mandwa hills of Gujarat. So second is not correctly matched. If we talk about the third statement, we have to see a map for that. Hiran, Choral and Barna. Let's see. Now this is the river Narmada, which is flowing near the Gulf of Khambat. As I told you, it does not flow through the Mandwa hills of Gujarat. And Hiran, Choral and Barna. These are certain rivers which are joining the Narmada from the north. These are the tributaries. So only the third statement is correct, right? The correct answer will be 3 only or only 3, that is option B. Let's move on to our next question, which will ask us what is the correct sequence of the rivers falling in the Arabian Sea, and that would be from north to south. Sabarmati, Mahi, Narmada, Tapi, Vishwamitra. Mahi, Sabarmati, Narmada, Tapi, Vishwamitra. Sabarmati, then Mahi, Vishwamitra, Narmada and Tapi, and then Sabarmati, Mahi, Tapi, Vishwamitra and Narmada. So let's see. First, westward flowing river, that means into the Arabian Sea. We have Sabarmati first, then we have Mahi. Okay, so Sabarmati and Mahi. Let's eliminate the ones which do not have that. Sabarmati, Mahi, and then Vishwamitra, Narmada and Tapi. Okay, one thing keep in mind that Tapi flows to the south of Narmada. So that is for sure. And in between, a river also flows by the name of Vishwamitra between Mahi and Narmada. So that would be Sabarmati, Mahi, Vishwamitra, Narmada and then Tapi. Okay. So option 3 would be correct. That is C. Right? This one is correct. Moving on to the next set of questions. There are rumors of a large diamond being found in Panna National Park. This was followed by illegal mining here, and then in which police action has been taken against those who have done so. So we have to see which of the following pairs are correctly matched. We have to match the elevation with the location. Bundelkhand Plateau in western Uttar Pradesh, Abu Hills in southern Rajasthan, and Salhar Peak in Andhra Pradesh. So let's see. Okay, so if we talk about what did we first have? Bundelkhand Plateau. Bundelkhand Plateau is actually not in western Uttar Pradesh but northern Madhya Pradesh. So first is not correct. Okay, this is not correct, this is not correct, and this would be not correct. So by elimination, we can see only the second pair is correctly matched. So second pair is correctly matched. Abu Hills, which is in the Aravalli range. It falls in southern Rajasthan region. So here we have Aravalli range. Southern Rajasthan. Okay, that's okay with you. So second is of course correct. Now tell me in the comment segment, where do we have the Salher Peak? Tell me in the comment segment that, because that is of course not in Andhra Pradesh. So this is your question. Second is the correct answer. Let's move on to our next question. We have to consider the following pairs. The extension of the plateau of Malwa is only in Madhya Pradesh. Vindhya ranges expand to only 2 states, and the plateau of Dandakaranya extends entirely to Odisha. We have to select the correctly matched correct statements. Now if we talk about the Malwa, Malwa is not entirely, the first statement was Malwa is only in Madhya Pradesh. No, Malwa is also Malwa Plateau. In addition to Madhya Pradesh, it also is in Rajasthan. Okay, So first statement is not correct. First statement becomes not correct. Then Vindhya range is expanded to only 2 states. That is also not correct. Because if we talk about Vindhyas, Vindhya extends from Gujarat to Madhya Pradesh and then also Uttar Pradesh. Okay, so 3 states are there. Then second statement is not correct. The plateau of Dandakaranya is only in Odisha. No. The plateau of Dandakaranya, in addition to being in Odisha, is also in Chhattisgarh. Okay. Also, it is in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So 4 states. Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So third statement is also not correct. So the correct answer would be none of the above. Alright. Moving on, let's talk about the next question. The 15th round of talks between army commanders of India and China at the Chushul-Moldo point ended recently. So what is the location of the Chushul-Moldo point with respect to these options? Okay. So let's see where is Chushul-Moldo border. This is the illegally occupied area by Kashmir. This belongs to India. But because in order for you to understand it better, this map will tell you that this 𝐾𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 is illegally occupied by China. This belongs to India. So Chushul is actually here, lying here, which is north of Spangur. And this is the Spangur Lake, Rezangla. This is the Pangong Tso Lake. So Pangong Tso Lake is in the Tibet region also and also in the Indian region. So Chushul, as you see, lies south of Pangong Tso. Very importantly, whatever points, the flash points with respect to illegal occupation of China, with respect to India's territory, whatever places have been in the news with respect to that, kindly know the direction, specifically those which are time and again in the news. So Chushul lies south of Pangong Tso. That makes our answer B. Okay, let's move on to our practice question, which is for the next segment. Okay, in order to travel from Delhi to Warsaw by way of the site, some of the following options are given, which include the country and water bodies. You have to choose the shortest route among them. However, during this time, it is also to be kept in mind that the length of the route does not increase unnecessarily due to being only a border country. Okay, so these are the many options to choose from. That's it for today. Next time we will bring you more questions with respect to map. Stay updated and thank you so much for watching.